Walking along this road and ending up in this ditch changed Suzanne Cantor's life forever, especially within the past couple months as she still recovers. Her neighbors and Louis Lachavita's neighbors say they are unsettled based on how this all played out and what led up to the 17-year-old's arrest. You walk along this path and it's a lot of green space, but I bet you won't expect to find this. But one mother did, and now she questions the safety of her neighborhood. For some people in Collier County, back alleys like this end up becoming home base. People around here have told me they've noticed an increase in homeless population spending time in this area. The victim's best friend told me that she was on oxygen and she was sick. And now here's all that's left. Charred debris on the ground. The fire alarms are still going, sensitive to the fire that broke out here today. And now people are mourning and cleaning up. A 10-month-old and a 14-year-old were left unattended for quite some time in this parking lot. Meanwhile, their mom inside the same gas station on the brink of death. Shopping and commerce is clearly a thing of the past here at Courthouse Shadows, but for one of the few business owners in this lot says he knew that there was more than meets the eye. During construction, not only will the beach and golf club be out of commission, but so will this lot and the beach access. Now, people who come to use this beach won't be able to park here, and they won't even be able to walk through here either until construction is all over. The manager here at Winn-Dixie says it seems like no one is preparing, and it shows. This parking lot has been pretty much empty all day since we got here hours ago to speak with shoppers to find out if they're gearing up. The information on here is what the crooks want. Our safety and security specialist, Rich Kolko, says they are breaking into the DMV records to get it. It's the people who don't check their bank accounts or just any of their accounts. So he tells us that we need to be more mindful of that. We need to make a habit out of it and to start checking your bank accounts and, in this case, ask the DMV some questions. Now take a look at this. This is what a real Sour Patch candy wrapper looks like. You can buy it here, and virtually every square has them stacked on their shelf. Arrive alive. That's the main message after today's incident that Trooper Morales tells me he wants people to know, just to remember to be safe, whether you're a man or a woman with a badge or just a civilian out on the road. Hurricane recovery is a long process. That's why Meals of Hope plans on holding more donation and meal packaging events in the future. Now the county is looking ahead and down the fairway. They hope to find the best balance between course and living space and make sure that it's a reflection of the community. On Tuesday, commissioners will get a recommendation from staff on who they believe should get the approval for the land. Standing here in front of Loudermilk Beach, NOLA here is allowed. Now, if we were to take a couple steps back that way and onto the beach, that would be a different story. Now, pet owners are asking the city to throw them a bone and hear them out. The testing will continue until the end of next summer, which is the end of red tide season. Now, they are expected to release results of the next samples sometime tomorrow. A company filed a permit to open up shop here. It used to be a liquors and lounge. People used to come here for a good time. Now, if all goes as planned, a medicinal marijuana dispensary can bring the healing times to patients. Each of these luminary bags have a name on them. They are all people who were affected by 9/11, from first responders to civilians. And on each of these bags is a message: to never forget this day that changed us all. We could see a huge impact if this all goes through, especially because the school district tells me that 64% of its students are on free or reduced lunch. That stat alone floored parents we spoke to, especially because that's a lot of students who could enter and leave the school hungry.
I think that's a very high percentage, and it should be evaluated, and kind of makes me sad.
We asked parents like Megan Homan if they're surprised by how many students in Collier County Public Schools get free or reduced lunch. Homan volunteered during Hurricane Irma recovery and saw what life is like for kids who don't know where their next meal will come from.
There were so many kids that just don't have food, and they were bringing it home and feeding their other families, or they were eating it on the way home so they had enough food.
Under the USDA's proposal, way fewer students would qualify for free or reduced lunches, and the USDA would have $2.5 billion more in its budget. The Collier County Public Schools says that this year, 64% of students are on free or reduced lunch programs. That's over 30,000 students out of 48,000 in the district. In 2017, Collier had 60% of students eligible for the program. That's according to a study done by County Health Rankings and Roadmaps organization.
People need to take care of people.
Grandparent Nancy Fry says it's not up to the government to bear the burden. She's calling on the public to help.
Churches out there that are capable of doing things. There are different agencies that are out there.
On the application to enroll, if kids are already on food stamps, and that makes them eligible. Otherwise, income, age, and Social Security is required to apply, and that'll decide for who gets help and who doesn't. Parents I spoke with realize that this is the reality that we have to live in, and the fact that pedophiles can't get access and so easily. They say that it's time for everyone to be smart and think about what you post. If you post it, there's a digital trail. And if you put a hashtag on it, anyone, including predators, can find it.
I don't know how else we can stop them, but not giving them any fuel.
Malavis Alvarez Cancillo says she thinks about what she shares on social media before she posts it. The Child Rescue Coalition wants more parents to do the same thing. Hashtags can lure the wrong crowd.
They start looking at this material online, they're thinking about how can I find children, how can I gain access to them, and who can I start abusing.
Yost says 85% of pedophiles who have these photos of nearly nude kids have already been abusers. That's a startling reality that Deborah Picucci and her family are well aware of.
You are being exploited. There is no doubt you're being exploited. They're out there and they see everything and they are touching and looking at everything.
Jerica, is there a way parents can post but not put their kids' privacy in danger?
So tonight I spoke with our safety and security specialist, Rich Kolko, and he tells me there's no surefire way just because it's online. But he says you parents could stay up to date with their privacy settings and to make sure that when they post anything, not to share any location.
Sorry about your brother. May God bless him. He was part of a great brotherhood.
Lauren Osborne reads a note left on her car windshield by this total stranger. The Air Force veteran has a dash cam, and it shows the man leaving the note behind.
I received this note. I was actually taken back a little bit. I had to sit in my car and I had to read it.
It came after the man read this decal that memorializes her brother's life after he took his own for post-traumatic stress disorder.
One of the hardest things I ever probably will go through in my entire life. My brother was a U.S. Marine. He was for 5 years. He was a sergeant. When he discharged at the end of 2010, he became incredibly withdrawn.
A tour of 5 years took him to serve his country in Iraq and Afghanistan. Osborne tells me that's where he experienced the unimaginable. And returning home, he could never bring himself to get help.
Almost like it was a sign of weakness to show that he needed help, and he just didn't know how to reach out for that. Like, it was just embarrassing for him. At the end, he really needed it.
September 2014, just like that, the unconventional, humored, quick-witted younger brother was gone. But seeing this note, Lawrence says, reminds her there's support and there's no shame in seeking help.
No one's really left a note like this on my vehicle before to make sure that I saw it, and it was really touching.
Osborne says she wants the author to know they're thankful for this random act of kindness and will soldier on and hopes every veteran struggling out there does too.